Thank you, everyone, for coming. We are joined today by senior middle linebacker James Bo Alexander and head coach Paul Haynes. Will start us off here with an opening statement.
Good. Thanks. First, I'd like to thank everybody for, I had a lot of people praying for me, a lot of thoughts, and a lot of people reaching out to me. So I'd like to thank. I can't begin to thank every single person. So there's so many people, but definitely want to thank everybody for their prayers. The doctors and everybody that did surgery on me and all that type of deal. But I'm back. I'm healthy. I'm ready to roll, and 100%. Will be around at practice and everything, unless something happens to me or my wife tells me I got to get my butt back at home. But until then, it's all speed ahead. It was good to come off a win. Good to get back and see these guys. I told these guys it was good to get back and look at their faces, and I want to commend the staff. Coach Treadwell especially for holding the fort down and keeping everybody focused, and of course the players are staying focused, doing what they needed to do in my absence. So very, very pleased to be back, very, very pleased of the game, coming off of definitely a win. Did we play perfect? No, but not by any means, but again, a win's a win at this point. So again, like I said, I've been blessed to be surrounded by a lot of, great people. Again, thanks for the prayers, and it's good to be back.
In the 2 weeks that you were absent, obviously you were there on Saturday. Did you see anything in particular that you can point out to your team right away?
Yeah, I mean, and again, we didn't spend too much time on Clemson, just because it's Clemson, and you spend too much time on them spending, why didn't you run the ball better or why didn't you throw the ball? And that was directly from me. I did not want to throw the football. I was not going to lose my quarterback in the first game of the season, trying to drop back and throw the football. So, we were going to establish the run and work on the run, and it helped us in the second game, because we rushed for almost 300 yards. So that was the plan, going into both of those games. Defensively, again, and I commend our staff and I commend these kids. It's tough to try to make a game plan from my house, when I'm not there at practice to actually see it and just watching it on film. And us are, we're on the phone with the coaches, sitting there talking on the phone, which was, a little bit different and crazy. But definitely our eye control, definitely our fundamentals is what we talked about that we got to get better at.
Just going back to the Clemson game real quick. What happened last year in Alabama play a key role in why you decided to go with that?
And Penn State.
And Penn State.
Yeah.
How involved were you as far as, you said you were on the phone constantly. It's like a daily thing when you were in touch, or was there some times when you were, how did that kind of work?
Yeah, it was daily. I spoke with Coach Treadwell every day, just the overall, everything, and then, spoke to the defensive staff regularly, and just was on the phone with them. I would watch practice and then call them and then, talk to a lot of the kids, on the phone, and just constant, but it was just weird just because I wasn't there. You sit there and you tell someone, a 90-degree angle, we all think we know what that looks like, but it looks different, when you're there. So, like I said, the staff did a great job of putting it together, but I don't want to have to deal with that again, of doing it from home.
What was it like walking in the locker room Saturday?
It was great. It was a great feeling. Kids were excited. I was excited. Like I told them, it was good to see their faces. And, the message that I gave them is don't take anything for granted. You never know when this thing will be taken away from you for any period of time. This is what we love. This is our passion. This is, again, I always say this is our sanctuary with all the craziness going on, in the world today. Bo's from Miami, so he has some other things going on with Hurricane Irma with his family. So this is our sanctuary where we feel most comfortable. And shoot, I watch I watched Knight Rider. I watched The Love Boat. I didn't even know that stuff was still on, and all that. Boy, you just miss it. And I think by probably the weekend, like I said, my wife was just like, I think it's time for you to go back to work. She was sick of me, and she was ready, for me to go. So just the message of don't take it for granted, because you never know when it's going to be taken away from you for any period of time. And when it's taken away, you just miss it so much. So it was good to see their faces.
Moving forward, you played Marshall a couple years ago. I know it's Monday, so you
Yep.
probably haven't looked at that much yet. But is there anything you can tell us early on that you see some similarities maybe between this team and the last time you played them?
Yeah, the good thing about it, they haven't changed coaches and they haven't changed coordinators. I've known Doc Holliday for a long period of time. We used to recruit Florida together, so I know him personally well. Todd Goebel is their co-offensive coordinator. He's actually an alum here and played here. And then Chuck Heaters, their defensive coordinator, has been around, coaching for a long time. So there's a lot of similarities with what they're doing, but they have progressed, a little bit with their offense and defense. But a lot of the things of what they have done, they're still doing the same, some of the same stuff from 2 years ago. So, we'll take that game out. We'll dissect that game and look at what we did well, what we need to do better, how they attacked us, defensively and offensively. So it does help that we do have some, familiarity with those guys as we played them 2 years ago.
I think they won 9 or 10 games that year. You played them, and you
Yeah.
had a really good shot at winning that. They're coming off a 3-win season, which it doesn't happen very much down here. So obviously, just talk about getting them kind of in a rebound situation.
Yeah, I think the thing about Marshall is it'll always be a typical Marshall team. I mean, they're going to have athletes running all over the place. They're going to be a lot more athletic than what we are, team speed-wise and all that. So, it's going to be a difficult challenge for us. Also, too, I don't know, again, I've played there a couple times, too. The atmosphere at Marshall is electric. They have a huge fan base. The game will be, exciting. The environment will be exciting. So it's a hard place to go and win. So all those things put into place. Again, those are the things that we got to work on. You asked the question earlier, what we have to work. We can't have 13 penalties. We can't turn the ball over, 2 times in the second half. So those are the things that we got to work on ourselves, that we got to make sure that give us a chance. This is the halftime speech I gave these guys. We can't beat 2 teams on Saturday. We can't beat ourselves and beat the other team. So those are the things that are self-inflicting that we cannot do.
But, how are things with your family in Miami?
With my family, everything's pretty cool. The storm veered west because Miami is on the east, so they veered west. They got the tail end and all the wind gusts and all that stuff. But the power went out and stuff, but back home is pretty good for my family. They rode out. I talk to them every day. So they all in good hands.
How did you feel about the defense's play last Saturday?
We came out with the win, but as our defense, as our coaches always say, our potential is out the roof. We played to that level sometimes, and we got to pick it up. We got to play better as a defense because we want to be the best defense in the nation. We want to be recognized as one of the best defenses. So we got to play like the best defense.
I know, you kind of generally, the defense is designed to not give up the big plays. I know that has to really,
Drive me nuts.
discouraging.
Yeah, and again, it's we didn't spend too much time on this game like we didn't spend too much time on Clemson, just because we did a lot of things that we won't normally do. Again, I did it from my house, so there was a lot of things that were kind of out of the norm, a little bit, and so take again the fundamental part of it, and that's the things that we focus on the most, is the things that we got to get better at fundamentally, our eye control, our pad level, those things that we got to make sure that we do a better job, because they didn't do anything special. We kind of gave them 2 or 3 big plays that we shouldn't have gave them.
How about just as a whole? I mean, obviously it's been a really strange couple weeks. Just kind of looking, all that aside, just where you're at right now. You feel pretty good about where you are at this point heading
Yeah,
into
yeah, I think so, because I know we'll get better defensively, you know, and where we're progressing offensively is the key. I mean, again, as we continue to get into, you know, MAC play, how we rush the ball, how we control the ball, how we don't turn the ball over is going to be the key on how successful we are. So if we can continue to put points on the board, we continue to rush the ball for 300 yards, we'll be okay.
just flip the special teams in there too, i.e. the block kick, which I'm sure was
Yeah.
upsetting. But other than that, I mean, you got some pretty nice returns, and obviously Derek's punting the ball.
Yeah, we got three returns past the 40. Derek is punting the ball lights out. Our coverage, you know, cover teams, our recon team is doing a very good job. So, you know, we just got to eliminate the penalties. We had 2 penalties, you know, on special teams, and then, of course, the block punt. So, again, we're talking about the fundamentals of the game that we just got to make sure that we work on and get better at.
Is that game called tight? Or,
No, I don't think so. None of the calls that we got called on us was I wouldn't argue, you know, against. I mean, the pass interference, we were grabbing a jersey, grabbing a shirt, the personal foul, just based off of the rule, any helmet to a quarterback is going to get called, regardless of, you know, how it hit. So, I didn't dispute any of those calls. I think it was, you know, I think it was 13-13, you know, penalties. So, you know, I'm sure they probably will sit there and say that there was a lot of penalties that they will, you know, argue, but I think it was a pretty good call game.
I think somebody asked this on Saturday, but how is it frustrating and hard to get a momentum when it's that many penalties, especially when it seems like it's every other play?
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing though is we had 13 penalties. We only had 4 in the first half, and one of them came on our punt team. You know, so I think the other one was legal procedure or something, and then 1 holding. But we had 9 penalties in the second half, and 7 of them came on defense. You know, so it really wasn't the momentum of the offense that kind of kept rolling. And I think when they went up a point, we sustained 2 drives that give us, you know, 2 touchdowns. But it actually kept their drives going because we got the personal foul, we got the 2 pass interference calls, you know, on us. So we had more penalties on defense in the second half than we did on offense. We only had 1 holding call, you know, in the second half, and then we had one on our you know, kickoff return. So offensively, we probably played, besides the turnovers, a pretty clean game. Defensively, we were not.
you played a lot of guys, obviously, which is what you always do. Has anybody kind of emerged in the first couple weeks in particular?
You know, young guys again, and I wouldn't even say young. You know, Quan Robinson's playing a different position. You know, he kind of gave up a big play, you know, there with bad eyes, but he'll continue to get better at that safety position. You know, again, you know, Bo actually, we grade him by winning performances. Bo actually got, you know, a winning performance in that game, and Nick Faulkner got our Defensive Player of the Week game. You know, so there was a lot of Nick. Again, is I would call him new. I know he played a little bit last year, but he's a new guy in the starting role. So I would point him out for sure. And again, Bo and Matt Barr again had a pretty solid, you know, game also too. I think offensively, when you look at a young guy, Keyshawn Gamble, again, I think we'll probably get him a little bit more involved on the offensive side of the ball. You know, but he likes to play defense too, you know, so, and I don't want to take that away from him, you know, also too, but we probably will get him a little bit more reps on offense.
You've been looking for a short yardage type back, really since that Trayon kind of went up and down, but just talk about finding that finally.
You know, he played running back in high school down in Cincinnati, so we always, you know, kind of knew he had that in him. You know, with the guys that we lost on defense in the linebacker room, we kind of knew that he had the physical toughness to play linebacker. So that's what we really recruited him as, knowing that he can always go over there and just run the ball downhill. But you know, he can pass protect, he can catch the football. You know, when you're when you're young, you just do what you're told. You know, the more knowledge you get, the more you want to sit there and do and break and do all and cut. I mean, he's just downhill and he goes where he goes, you know, and that's the beauty of him right now is he just gets downhill and he's strong and he's powerful and he doesn't even know how strong he really is. But like I said, we'll add him a little bit more, you know, in some of our one-back stuff too.
Bo, I mean, obviously up and down a couple weeks for the defense. You got Coach back. How was it just to kind of get things back to quote unquote a normal situation here for you guys?
Oh, it was awesome. Everybody was happy to see Coach Haynes came in. We know now we have one of our biggest leaders that we need. Mind the coaches that when Coach Haynes was missing, the coaches did a great job stepping up and helping us learn and get us back on track. But Coach Haynes was one of the biggest leaders that we needed back. Just his presence there just give off a different vibe to the defense.
Anything in particular? You mentioned Marshall's speed, obviously. Is there anything in particular you think going into this game you need to do for sure?
You know, really, it's just, again, I know I say this a lot, but it's really about us. You know, if we give up big plays like we've been defensively, it's going to be a long day. If we can, you know, get better at our fundamentals, you know, make them earn it, make them drive, move the ball, move the chains offensively, we'll have a chance, you know, and continue to do the things that we've been doing on special teams, you know, we'll have a chance. But like I said, it'll be a fun environment for our kids to go down. We just got to do what we do, you know, and get better at the little things that we have to get better at.
Come out pretty healthy.
Yeah, again, nicks and bruises, but, you know, pretty much healthy.
You have a game plan for what you'll do in the first half without John?
No, it's next man up, you know. So we, you know, have Dom and Jonte Bird and, you know, so, but no, it's just next man up and he'll be ready to roll in the second half.
Bo, how well do you remember that Marshall game from 2 years ago, and do you think that kind of sticks with some of the veterans as some extra motivation?
Yeah, it was a thriller. It was back and forth, the overtimes and stuff. Let's just know, as a defense and as a team, we want to play all 4 quarters, nothing more than that. Want to get it said and done at the end of the fourth.
Anything else?
All right, thank you. Go Flashes.